Chris Revill, good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. How are you?
Fantastic. The podcast has just hit 25,000 downloads, and I've been a bit messy on LinkedIn over the weekend. So I've got a couple of questions for you.
Awesome, mate. I think you're the most famous person I know on LinkedIn right now.
Maybe the one that is going to be speaking to you today, anyway.
I reckon, definitely.
Okay, my French friend. Where am I calling to?
I'm in Paris. Yeah, I'm not French though. I'm English.
I know. I like to wind you up. There's a bit of French there, though, isn't there?
Actually, I moved here when I was 16 with my parents, and then left again. Now I'm married to a French woman, and we live in Paris at the moment.
Very good. Sounds lovely. All right. So here's the crack. I've given everybody a bit of an intro into you, but Tris, we're not going to do a long form podcast because you've got a child upstairs and you're doing the super dad thing today. And I wanted to just pick out a couple of quick bits of information. So Tris is a growth hacker and runs the growth hacking recruiter community on Facebook. Growth hacking recruiters, is that right?
Yeah, just search Growth Hacking Recruiters or growthhackingrecruiters.com. It's a community to share tips, tricks, and hacks to help you hire better, right? Simple.
And you're running that community really well, and I'm getting a lot of benefit out of it, and there's a lot of shared ideas, which is great. And you're pretty good at not just accepting everybody into the group, which has meant that the engagement is of a higher level than some of the other American focus groups.
Well, yeah, it's not. There's a lot of Americans in the group. There's more than any other country. But we've got about 2,000 members now that are communicating, and this is the second recruiting community that I've started. So I've had a bit of practice before. I got some pretty clear ideas about what I want to do with this because it's quite specifically focused. And so I'm really excited for 2019, see how we can grow that to 10,000, 15,000 people and help them learn how to recruit better, really.
Sounds awesome. All right. So over the weekend, I had the kids and I was on LinkedIn a bit and I screenshotted a few people copying Oleg and Brigette. Oleg and Brigette are the verbal diarrhea copywriting of the HR. I will say.
Well, they've got more followers. They've got more followers than you or me. So I mean, they're pretty good at it.
And everybody else listening to this combined.
Yeah. Probably.
So I screenshotted a few people trying to copy to be them, and it went viral. And it's now heading towards 1 million people who've seen it. And I wanted to know why specifically did that work as opposed to all the other stuff that I'm posting where I might put more effort into, writing a story or trying to garner, maybe tagging more people and doing all the stuff that you're supposed to do.
Well, I think the key here is in the content. Like, first of all, the post that you've posted is funny, so people react to it and laugh. I saw it and definitely reacted like that. I think the other thing that's very important is to remember that you're talking about a meme on LinkedIn. Oleg and Brigette, as you say, have millions of followers, but they are a bit of a meme now. We know that people are, they always have the same post, and it's with the same post that goes viral. So the fact that you're making a meme out of LinkedIn and posting it on LinkedIn, what happens on LinkedIn when things go that viral is that they get seen by the human editors at LinkedIn.
At what point?
And they decided at one point, well, there's no exact number. It depends on your network size and who you are and where you sit within the spam score of LinkedIn. But it's normally, once you hit more than 50 to 100,000 views on a post, it's probably going to get seen by a LinkedIn human.
Oh, what's the spam score on LinkedIn? How can I avoid being on that?
So the spam score on LinkedIn is basically, it's a decision mechanism which allows LinkedIn to serve its users the best and most relevant content. And it had a decision that's based on the user and their preferences. The spam score is basically, is your post relevant to users? And it will start very simply by showing your post to a few people in your immediate network that are online at the same time. And that's how the algorithm works in terms of sharing content, is that the content is shared first with a few number of people, and then with a few more people, and with a few more people. And as you build traction with that piece of content, likes, comments, views, and reactions, then this is the same for any social media that you post. It'll go viral based on how many people are commenting and what the ratio is there, basically. So what the reaction that it's creating. That's how the algorithm works, right?
Yeah.
So what's going on is that, to answer your question, like, if you don't want to hit that spam score, you've got to create good content. And good content for every single social network is about native content that says the same message as the social network wants to say. So Facebook is about connecting friends with friends. So if you have a post where you're talking to your friends and all your friends comment, then that's going to be a good post. LinkedIn is about talking about business and leadership. You know, that's what LinkedIn likes to think of itself. And that's why they obviously like the fact that your post, which points out bad behavior on LinkedIn, people reposting Oleg and Brigitte's content, which is spammy stuff, and they don't want it, you know, like LinkedIn doesn't want that. Will obviously, you know, be pushed and the, you know, as you see, like, I mean, how many connection requests have you got, dude? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's this morning. I think one of the things is that this morning, or all over the weekend, it's been quite crazy on my LinkedIn account, and the connections aren't specific to my niche. So a few of them have garnered like people that we've been in touch with, and then they've said, "Oh, hey, I remember I spoke to you. You know, I'm still thinking about it this year, or whatever." So that there's been good. But one of my worries then yesterday was, okay, I'm getting all this attention, but I'm always talking about this podcast and I'm promoting it, and you know, I'm talking about the different guests and that. So I suppose I was kind of worried that I was being viewed more as a social media person rather than what I do for a living, which is move recruiters around the world. So I changed my tagline to "I'm fucking awesome at moving recruiters around the world." And then I screenshot.
How can you get away with swearing on LinkedIn? You know that Gary Vee doesn't get away with swearing on LinkedIn.
I don't. Does he not?
No. He talks about posting LinkedIn content which he doesn't swear on. Like, the fact that you did that obviously got someone's attention.
Yeah, so that's hit 100,000. So what I wanted to do was just remind everybody that I still do this for a living. So I screenshotted that and put that on, and I thought, oh, well, I'll get a lot of attention now, so I may as well reinforce that. And I tried to do it in a way that created debate on if it's appropriate, if it's not. And it's really interesting, right? I've got absolutely murdered by people over 45.
Have you actually got the stats to prove that? I think that's a pretty dangerous thing to say.
Comment individually, and I've gone through every comment on the Headhunters group on Facebook individually, and I've had a look at the people, and the people who are millennials don't care, and they almost found it funny. The anybody who was older, and the aggression that they've come back at me on it is pretty exceptional. So
I think this is something that people forget often about LinkedIn is the audience. Obviously, it's a very professional audience, and we think that we should behave professionally. But actually, the biggest age group on LinkedIn is 25 to 35.
Is it?
Yeah. So of course because we're the hustlers, right? We're the people that need this. We work in tech companies and in recruiting, and we need like LinkedIn to work, to disrupt and be digital. And although it's full of the professional networkers, the switch that I've seen in 2018 and going into 2019, this is what I think you've got to remember, is that we're getting good at using social media, man. Like, I've been doing this since I was 14, MySpace, right? Like, and putting flashy images on my MySpace. And it was important for me because I left the UK when I was 16 and went traveling with my parents. So I needed to be able to use social media to communicate with my friends. And then Facebook came along, and then LinkedIn, and then LinkedIn became professional. But what I see happening in 2019 is people realizing that actually, like, I can be my authentic self on LinkedIn as well as I can be my authentic self on Facebook. And actually now I'm going to start to use these tools in a much better calculated manner. I think that's what like the maturity of the internet is going to do. And when we think about growth and you want to get more views and you want to build better content and make better connections with your clients and with your customers and with your colleagues and your friends, and you want to build an audience because everyone does these days, then the reality is that you're going to start to be more authentic, put funnier content out. And those, I'm sorry, but those 45-year-olds that are on there, they might be making decisions in big companies, but in small business, in medium-sized business, it's our generation that is building the stuff for the future. And we're the ones that are going to push the content we like. We're going to see the memes and laugh at them and get them trending on a professional networking site. Because it's our place, it's not their place. And I think I see that really switching. And it's, that's my prediction for 2019. If you want to create great content, think about who your audience is and think about what they've seen and what they've lived through. And you will like create better content that brings them value and helps you get more clients, more customers, and helps you grow.
We have so much to talk about, and there's so many topics that I want to bring you on for. But just on what you just said, when myself and Charlotte started this Rec to Rec, we did it from Guatemala as digital nomads, and I remember she said, "Look, we can't post that we're here because the clients will not value what we're doing and all the rest." And that was 4 years ago, and now it would almost be celebrated. So.
Yeah. It is celebrated. You just got 600,000 views on LinkedIn.
Yeah, the world has changed, hey?
Yeah, the world has changed. And, I think like we have a huge opportunity. I'm looking forward to coming back. Thank you very much for the invite. I'm looking forward to the collaboration that you and I are going to do this year. Because I'm terrible at podcasts, so you won't find me making a podcast. But thanks very much for having me on the show, and catch up soon.
Take care. Thanks so much.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.